or Arafat.
Exactly, because this is really coming from, and this is the IRA that we're talking about. It's not the Irish people.
It's
the
mostly,
IRA.
but not. It's mostly, but not only. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. I've heard many.
Well,
stories.
I would say the IRA and IRA sympathize. So I would not argue with that. So, oh, by the way, we're live.
Yeah, I know.
Yay, here we are. Yay. Welcome to Drink and Draw Friday style. Yeah. I don't know what we're doing. So, let's go and get this shit started. I'm special.
I'm special.
I can count to potato.
So, oh my god. Yeah, we were talking about like world events and how
history and how some places are perceived. And I've always been very pro. I'm Irish. I'm almost all Irish. So as I've said, I'm Celtic with one German who fucked his way into my family, and I got stuck with his last name. That son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, we have the Jenkins, the Crailes, the Gibsons, the McWilliams, the Jenkins. Just so many fucking Celtic names. And then there's this one guy named Cassell. That son of a bitch. I'm glad he died on a train, stabbed to death. He's either shot or stabbed. He was, he liked to hop trains and get into the poker games and win some money. And he got caught cheating, and somebody killed him.
You know what made me laugh? There's a line in Blazing Saddles, right towards the end, where all the railway workers are coming to their help. So one of the Johnsons is like, "Okay, we'll accept the blacks."
Is it Howard Johnson? Was it Howard Johnson?
One of them? They were like, "We'll accept the blacks and the Chinese, but we'll not accept the Irish."
Fuck the Irish.
I mean, he didn't say blacks and Chinese, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Because there were signs like that in Chicago back in the day.
Oh yeah. And it's funnily enough, then all the cops were Irish. And they were all corrupt as fuck.
I love the historical inaccuracy of showing Irish as cops in the 1800s.
And no, not in the 1800s.
Yeah, well, they did that with that Bruce Lee series. I forget what the name of it was, based on Bruce Lee's Kung Fu story of an immigrant coming to America in the 1800s. And I'm like, no, the Irish weren't.
No Irish were.
You saw
constables during the 1880s.
You didn't see that until the early 1900s. And
I think they were of German descent in the Midwest. I think, right? Chicago.
In Chicago, you had a lot of Swedes.
Swedes, yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know that the Fargo accent, which comes from the Swedes and the Norwegians, filtered into the accent of Chicago because they're really hard on their R's with the, that there is really good there. Yeah, you betcha. That's Chicago, and that it's so close to the Fargo accent. But the Irish began becoming foot patrolmen, which is like the lowest level cop you could be. And they often were skipped over for advancement, starting in the late 1890s, going into the 1900s. And that's why you have so many fucking cops that are Paddies, Paddy, Paddy, which is one of the nicknames for the Irish. That one in Bog Irish mix.
As in the paddy wagon.
Yeah. So, but the Irish were frowned upon. And it's a lot of people think that the Chinese were always treated badly, which is not true. The Chinese, when they first came to America, were treated really well. And they were great entrepreneurs in the United States, but then a lot of them ended up leaving, were forced out of the country because of certain immigration laws of the time. That as they were, it's really immigration didn't start here until the late 40s, going into the 50s. But you saw a closing up of things, and people began to become paranoid about the Chinese, and so they were kind of forced out of the communities. And then there was another big influx in the middle of the 1800s, and then it was a whole different story. They were treated atrociously. So their cultures have come to America, and it has nothing to do with race, it really as much as culture, who just absolutely were shit on here in the United States and had to go to the lowest levels of society to find work, especially when immigration started growing in the late 1800s. So, but I'm going to switch cameras here, so I'm going to switch my other screen. Camera, switch to OBS. There we are. There's my OBS. Ooh, I guess I better turn on my OBS.
Yeah, I think you need to turn on that camera.
Yeah. It's on in the program, but I hadn't turned on the virtual camera, which is what's on OBS. You turn on virtual camera, and then it will show me.
Anima pieced out, I think, from that whole conversation.
Well, she was never here for the beginning of it. I was hoping she would really jump in on that German film, and nothing.
Why would I? You guys are talking about stuff that film I know nothing about.
I don't know if you know, she's not German.
I mean, I could have told you how the name of
culture.
I could have told you how the name is pronounced, but you don't care about shit like that. So I had nothing to offer, and my cat was going crazy. So yeah, I'm going to mute.
Cabraca?
What is that noise? Oh, it's you.
It's ASMR Velcro. Drove me crazy. Sorry.
Basically, I'll go ahead and get started here because I got some stuff here. The film we're going to be talking about today is Prime Cut. It's a film I've seen a few times in my life, and I like the film. But here's one oddity: the film. Good luck finding a budget for that film. You can't. I don't know where ever it's been written down. But I'm assuming that it was probably shot for about 1.5 to 2 million. And if it was shot for less, I would be surprised, with Lee Marvin being in it and Gene Hackman being in it. He'd just come off of having made French Connection. Now, he hadn't won the Oscar yet, but which is why you could probably get Gene Hackman pretty cheap. But anyway, the box office for the film is one thing we do have a record for, which it took in 1.5 million at the box office in 1972.
So it barely broke even, or not?
I think it broke even. And I think it's because it's such a hardcore film. It was years ahead of its time for what it was talking about. And I don't think audiences were ready for that. I really don't. So the film does include 3 Oscar-winning actors, which includes Lee Marvin himself, Gene Hackman, and of course, very young Sissy Spacek. It is her feature film debut, along with Bill Morey, who is in it. And he's somebody that you don't know his name, but when you look at him, you go, "Oh, I know that guy." He always plays gangsters and shit. And then Janet Baldwin, who I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't remember her from anything. And I don't know if she's any relation to any of the Baldwins. No. The good Baldwin or the 3 bad ones.
Probably not.
No, I checked that yesterday because I had the same curiosity. And no, she's not.
Yeah, so there you go. If there is a relationship, if it's her real name, there's probably a distant relationship. But anyway, Lee Marvin really disliked working with Ritchie on this film. He disliked him. What we know is for at least his perceived lack of respect for Sissy Spacek, wanting to put her in a love scene, possibly 2 love scenes with Lee Marvin, and Lee Marvin just thought that was just wrong. And I got to be honest with you, I understand that it is creepy as hell. That's typical for Hollywood.
How old was she when she made this? 20?
Now she was 22, 21 to 22. Because she was 22 when the film came out. I don't know if she was 22, but she was at least 21.
Well, she looks
but
like
the fact is, she was cast because she looks like it could be 16 or 17, which is why I believe she was cast. So this is her first movie. It's her feature film debut. And like I said, Lee Marvin did not like this, and so therefore it was not in the film. For those who don't recognize the director's name, Michael Ritchie, I can name some films that you probably know him for, because he was known for directing films with dry to silly humor. He directed Walter Matthau and Tatum O'Neal in The Bad News Bears. He directed Chevy Chase in both Fletch films, Fletch and Fletch Lives, as well as directing Robert Redford in The Candidate, which was a scathing, skewering political film of the 1970s. Then in the 80s, he directed Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child, a film that Anna watched and really enjoyed with me, and Goldie Hawn in The Wildcats. I remember going to see that in the theater, and which is a fun football film, comedy. But that's all I can think of, that he did that was worthwhile. There are some more films, but I didn't really think they're very good.
Wildcats is a movie that we are going to cover later on this year too.
You've seen it then?
Oh, I've seen it before. Yeah. Goldie Hawn, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, he was the
name of the main guy.
I think he was the running back in the film.
I think so.
It's a good film. It's not a great film. It is a film that has laid unforgotten by me. Like when you put a welcome mat on top of an old welcome mat, it's the old welcome mat to me. It's like, oh, I miss that welcome mat. I like that welcome mat, but I'm going to put the one I really like on top of it. So it's a forgotten film. I'll also tell you that Gene Hackman accepted this role, playing the character's named Mary Ann, because this was the first and only offer he had gotten since rapping on The French Connection, some six months prior to this film. He'd been unemployed that whole time. That's a long time for an actor not to be working, especially a working actor, because at this point he was still a working actor. Now, Sissy talked about it later in an interview that about the nude scene, and she said, for someone who started out singing solos in church, that was a real mortifying, because she's got a Southern accent. But it was a huge break for me, a movie with big stars and all. So I got real skinny and hoped nobody would notice that I wasn't wearing any clothes. Well, my mother noticed, and she was appalled.
She wasn't wearing any clothes.
Yeah, she
at
was
all.
Completely naked.
Yeah, and I mean, when she finally puts some on, they're fucking see-through.
Yeah, I know. The first thing she wears is a see-through dress, which causes a stir in the restaurant. Now, I do like that scene. And Lee Marvin reacted to those patrons in that restaurant the same way he reacted to the film's director wanting to do a love scene. So there you go. Lee Marvin was a tough guy. Also, this is in the trivia. All the little girls, the orphans in the film, and I should address the elephant in the room. This was, to my knowledge, the first movie to address the modern illegal sex trade and sex trafficking of children for the sex trade. We wouldn't see anything about that again really until 2011. It was so ahead of its time with what it was talking about. But again, the little orphan girls that were being groomed to become prostitutes were all named after flowers. which I don't know what inspired that, other than the fact that he wanted a subtle idea that they were flowers being cut at the stem type thing by what was being done to them. The other thing I want to bring up is the opening scene at the slaughterhouse. It was so graphic in the butchering and killing of animals, because it's all real. They could not put at the end of this movie, there were no animals harmed in the making of this film, because there were animals being slaughtered in the film. And it has been cited by many people who have seen the film as being the reason for them becoming vegetarians or vegans.
Pussy.
Yeah, because they grow up like snowflakes with no idea how an animal ends up on their plate. And I think that's something every human being should know how that works.
So,
Yeah.
Zoe was
I don't care.
Zoe was like Lisa Simpson in this on The Simpsons, when she learns how they get meat on their table, and she became a vegetarian in the show, or vegan on the show, which I thought really knocked her down as a character, because it really made her annoying. Because just like in real life, vegans are very annoying. So anyway, another cool little factoid in the film is the submachine gun that's used. The one that Lee Marvin carries in the last act of the film. It was a rare Smith & Wesson Model 76, which is basically a copy of the Swedish M submachine gun, which, it was produced in small numbers in the late 60s, and it was eventually discontinued by Smith & Wesson due to a lack of interest in a weapon like this by the military and law enforcement. So, but in the U.S. service, it was used by special forces, including the early version of Navy SEALs, which is just UDT, and CIA combat operatives. They carried it, and it was largely known as the Swedish K, or the K rifle. Over there in Sweden, the weapon it was based on. But they pretty much discontinued it later. But here's why it was popular with special forces and the CIA: is it was a compact submachine gun that fired a 45 caliber bullet, which is something they love. The grease gun did the same thing. That's why Don Eckers and my dad were both fans of the grease gun. Cheaply made, cheaply machined, but worked. Another thing that's been talked about, we talked about it before the show, is people have always seen, and I always saw this too, because I grew up with brothers, and there was none of that physical grab-assery going on. And I always thought it was weird the way Marianne acts with his brother. And I think his brother's fucking mentally handicapped. I got to be honest. I think he's one bean short of a burrito, and which is why he's the way he is. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were products of INCEST. I don't want to say the word because I don't know if YouTube will.
No, they have no issues with that word. They have no issues with a lot of words. I've seen people in the last 4 months saying outlandish shit. Outlandish. And I don't know what their back end looks like, but they haven't received any strike or community guidelines stuff. So,
well, good.
I think it's pretty safe to use the word inbreeding.
I think that inbreeding or incest is alluded to in the film, because I think it's alluded to that there's a homosexual incestuous relationship between Marianne and his brother.
I don't see that.
A lot of people don't.
Neither.
I grew up in the Midwest, and that's not normal behavior between male brothers. It's fucking weird. So whether it's there, I guess you could see that as groundbreaking for the time. But for me, the sex trade and human trafficking aspect of this movie is what I consider groundbreaking, because it's the first film to really directly use it in the story itself. And oddly, I would have pointed out too that about 12 years later, Lee Marvin would make another film with similar themes in it, where he plays a gangster out of his element out in the rural countryside, the farmland of, I do believe, France, because I think the film was released in France, and I don't remember the French name, but I know in the U.S. it was released as Dog Day in '84, and it's got that kid in it named David Bennett, and David Bennett's someone I've been aware of since I was a kid, because the first time I saw him was in '79 in a movie called The Tin Drum, which is a bizarro movie. And here it is with, I do believe that's the German title for Tin Drum. And yeah. I always thought, was he cloned from Anthony Hopkins? Like, what the fuck is going on with this kid's face? He looks like fucking Anthony Hopkins. It's bizarre. And I was thinking that in 1979 when I saw this movie. And it is a bizarre movie about, again, juvenile sexual attraction to an older woman. And it's just bizarre. It takes place in '39 during the onset of World War II. But what he's best known for me, there he is. He played the part of Gump in Legend, Ridley Scott's movie. And again, it's his eyes and the shape of his nose that make him look like Anthony Hopkins to me. He has a similar nose and the same crazy fucking big eyes. Good actor, by the way. I think he's very good. But he did not have a big career. He's still around, still working.
How old is he now?
But here's the this is the French name for the movie, and this was what it was released as. This is what it was released as in the United States, Dog Day.
I've never heard of that.
And I think it's funny because it shows the blood spot up there on his chest, but he actually, a moment after this photo is taken, or this image, he gets shot in the back through the belly, down on the lower left side. And it's a good film. I do like the movie. It's, it's French, but it's got Lee Marvin in it. And, it's, look, I will watch anything with Lee Marvin. And I know, because we talked about it too, that there are a lot of regrets by Gene Hackman and Lee Marvin about this movie. Gene Hackman took this film for one reason and one reason only. He was a working actor, and he hadn't been working for 6 months after The French Connection. And I don't know if that was because he had, even though later on they patted it down to something not so big, but he kept trying to pull out of French Connection because he didn't like it. He didn't like that Eddie Egan's character, which is in the movie, not in the book, Robin Moore's book. They were Rousseau and Egan were their names in the book, but when they made the movie, it was decided to change Egan's name. And so, even though Eddie Egan and Rousseau are both in the movie, The French Connection, playing two other cops, the movie is about Rousseau and Egan, played by Scheider and Gene Hackman. But Hackman had problems with the racism, or what he perceived as racism, and he tried to pull out multiple times. And then he would argue with Friedkin, the director, constantly. And so I don't know if that got out about him. And that may have been why he couldn't find work for months. So this was the first legitimate offer he got for work, and he took it. And but he plays a character named Mary Ann.
Why would you name a male character that?
I think it's because of what I said. So you guys don't see it, but I think it's there even in his name that he was the girl in the relationship. So where was I? Eddie Egan. So Eddie Egan is also in this movie. He plays one of the gangsters that works with Lee Marvin. which is kind of cool because he's in a movie again with Gene Hackman. So there you go. I thought that was some interesting trivia. You guys got anything to add to that? Oh, no. I love Death Hunt, dude. I love Death Hunt. And if not for Death Hunt, it may have been weeks before I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. But it was a double feature because the movie wasn't doing well. And so they did a midnight showing of Raiders on a Thursday. So we went to see Death Hunt and stayed for the Raiders movie. And it was fucking awesome. What a night. And I like the movie Death Hunt. It's a good film. So you were going to say something, Mephisto?
No, I said I've never seen this movie before. Like I saw Sissy Spacek and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I did a little like background search, and well, Google Images does not spare the eye. I was like, okay.
I'm surprised by that. But okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a dirty old man, but I wasn't looking for it. But and suddenly there's tits and bush in my face. It is what it is, Google.
It's a bit
probably
much.
Google.
I agree.
Google probably knows exactly what I like, so it kind of showed it to me.
Yeah,
Google knows everything, Meph.
Tits and bush.
What do you want me to say? Like, yeah. Suddenly there's Sissy Spacek vagina in my face. So, yeah.
Hold on a second to see. Is it in here? Even though Bush McFadden isn't here, I've been thinking about him all day today because we've been talking privately.
Bush.
There's a lot medically going on with him I don't want to talk about. But I'm worried about him, and I keep him in my nightly prayers, man. So, but you say Bush, and this is what pops into my head.
I was going to say, I don't know what it is in the last 12 months. It's weird. There's a lot of people that I know that got like sick with something. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
No, sir.
No, we don't like that either.
I wish everyone that I know and don't know very, very well.
Man, I did a lot of pencils over the last 2 days.
You're working like crazy.
Well, I have to. I got to be done by end of June. I got to be done. I got to get this out of my way. This is a lot of response.
You keep that pace, you'll be done by end of May.
I don't know. We'll see.
You don't have that many pages left, and you're throwing them out like crazy. I'm amazed at how fast you.
Who's all here right now? We got Gambit 87. Yeah, because I saw him in the chat earlier before the show even started. Snortapoopus Cuber is here. Hello.
Hey, Snorty.
Paul Smith is here. Greetings, Paul. And of course, Penny is here. And Tom Baker and Sander Hammerschlag. I know it just says slag, but I have to say schlag because I know that, like, even though I don't pronounce like I'm from Europe, I do know that would have an SH sound. So Hammerschlag. Let's see. Any good comments?
No. Happy Passover, everybody. I guess.
Happy Passover. I'm not religious, but happy Passover.
I'm not religious at all.
Dude, we had an image for you on Wednesday. From Wednesday.
Really?
And you weren't
Yes,
there.
I did. Hold on. I might still have it.
I was dying to show that.
Oh,
because we had such a fun
it's
moment
gone,
when we
not
watched
to
the
be
movie.
uploaded.
Gary, you have to realize, never count on me showing up on a Wednesday. Ever, ever, ever. I really we watched the movie, and because we started early because we watched it with my boy. Because I don't mind him watching nudity. He's 11. He's seen enough. We finished at around 10:30. The movie isn't that long. I thought it was like a couple of hours. It's 1:45, which is great. But we finished, and I was like, I'm like dead tired. And my wife was like, yeah, let's go to bed. We went to bed. I put the covers on, took off my glasses, and I was out. I was out.
I wish I could fall asleep like that.
No, I don't usually fall asleep that easy. But yeah.
It just sounds wonderful.
Oh, it's great when it works. You know what happens sometimes? And it's really weird. And mostly what it does is I finish a stream on a Saturday. Now, Saturday.
Here it is, Mephisto.
All right. Let's see.
I said, I wonder if there's. Are these people Jewish?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, he asked
pretty
me,
much.
We watched a movie, we come to the scene, and he asked me, can you tell that this is a Jewish cemetery?
Can you tell that this is a Jewish cemetery?
No idea why. No
I wonder what kind of cemetery this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody apparently really likes piano music. They put a candelabra on that one.
A candelabra.
When I was a kid, I used to call it a candelabra. I didn't know what a candelabra was. But yeah, I made that just for you.
Yeah, thank you. Nothing like a Jewish cemetery to perk up my morale.
Right? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, I got to say, Lee Marvin had an air about him. Don't fuck with me. And he was a genuine, real life tough guy, you know? And that's why John Ford liked him so much. John Ford and Wayne both really liked him a lot. And they were friends. He and Marvin were friends. And they did 2 movies together. They did The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and that one. This is way before Adam Sandler ever did it. John Ford wanted to make a movie while on vacation in Hawaii, but he wanted to go to Hawaii. So how am I going to go to Hawaii and not have to pay for it? I'll make a movie there. So he made a film called Donovan's Reef with John Wayne and Lee Marvin, a comedy. And it's a silly movie, but I do love it. It's got such great heart in it. And this ongoing feud that keeps wanting to percolate into a fist fight between Lee Marvin and Wayne. And Wayne will turn and look at him because Lee Marvin starts to walk up like he's going to sucker punch him. John will turn and look at him, and then Lee Marvin does like a cat that doesn't want to get caught. And, that like he was about to pounce his one and starts cleaning his paws. Like I wasn't doing anything.
Sounds like a movie that has a trailer. 2 cowboys come into Hawaii and they stumbled onto a hippie beach.
I'm telling you,
bitch.
You should watch that movie and let me know what you think of it. Because
not a bitch, a beach.
A beach. Have a beach
and
of
they
a time.
decide to take care of business. Pow, 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 pow.
Pow, 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 pow.
That's the comedy. About a couple of cowboys getting to Hawaii, trying to unwind, and they get to a beach where there's just surfer dudes and hippies, and they're like, I am going to enjoy my vacation.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It's time to take care of business.
Well,
well,
Pilgrim.
I'll be damned,
I
Pilgrim.
would watch that.
And by the way, it was a vacation because they took their families with them, children and all.
Man,
and
old
so
Hollywood,
where you see a bunch of locals. Some of those locals were actually all the children, the Fords, the Marvins, and the Waynes. Oh, I love Avalanche Express, but same thing. Yes, Robert Shaw had that same kind of intensity, and he was very menacing to Steven Spielberg and Richard Dreyfuss on Jaws, because he was like Richard Burton, Richard Harris, Peter O'Toole, and Oliver Reed is another guy that kind of had that gravitas with people because you just didn't want to fuck with him. And I still love that story of Oliver Reed, where what's his name from Full Metal Jacket, Matthew Modine. Was working with this director, and the director knew Oliver Reed. It says, yeah, I can introduce you. So they go to this bar And they go to the back table, and it's just full of people, this table. And Oliver Reed is sitting there, and the director sits in one spot, and Modine walks up to his left and sits down in the open chair next to Reed. And while they're sitting there, Reed just started giving Modine the stink eye. And he told this whole story on Conan O'Brien back when Conan O'Brien was on The Late Show on NBC. And all of a sudden, just out of the blue, Oliver Reed just fucking cold cocks him right in the face, knocks him out of the chair. And the director jumped in, no. He's the actor in my new film. Don't hit him in the face. Don't hit him in the face. And Oliver apologizes to him profusely, going, "Oh, I'm sorry, boy. I just thought you were a spy," meaning he thought he was from the press. He's got a pencil neck like somebody from the press. So he fucking knocked the shit out of him for that. And so Reed felt really bad, and the director tells him that he came here to meet him because he's had a question for him. And so, well, anything. What do you want to know? So Modine, who's now nursing a busted nose and lip, is asking him this question: "Is it true, Mr. Reed, that you had eagle talons tattooed on the end of your penis?"
Yowza, what a question.
Yeah.
And because this was something that was kind of spread around in magazines and stuff. You could see it in some of the tabloid magazines that he did this. So he wanted to know if it was true. And so Oliver smiled at him, stood up, dropped trowel, yanked at his winger, and you could tell that he was not Jewish because it was just a big old fucking snortapoopus trunk.
It was snortapoopus Huber.
And then Modine
Sorry, Snort.
I'm sorry, Snort. I couldn't help it, buddy. I just love your name. So he grabs his fucking hog in his hand and begins to squeeze. And Modine said, "It reminded me of one of those stress toys that you get where you squeeze and the antenna and eyeballs pop out when you squeeze." He says he squeezed the end of his cock, and as he did, all of a sudden, the head of his penis pops out of the end. And there on the end of it, proudly, because he was smiling when he showed it to him, were 2 tattooed talons on the end of his dick.
Who gets a tattoo there?
That's the glands. All the nerves in your dick are in the glands, the head.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think that was one of his questions, was that excruciating? And he goes, "I wouldn't know. I was drunk."
Jesus
Oliver
Christ.
Reed.
Also, hi, Penny.
Yeah. Penny loves these stories. She loves these fucked up stories.
She can take it, I guess.
That's why
we
she's only
ruined
listening
her.
to us wearing a headset.
We ruined her.
Oh, yeah.
Brian
You should.
Louis.
Breaches now.
You should.
Because
I
she
think
was
the
such a-
internet. I think the internet ruined her.
Well, she was
No,
such a
just
PG
kidding.
person when she started watching us, and now she drops the F-bombs too and stuff and says,
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
make
about the
breaches.
F-bombs, but
I'm
she
not
makes
sure.
breaches.
I'm not
yeah.
so sure.
It's always shocking when she breaches the back door.
Yeah. That's what it is. She breaches the back door. So, oh my. I gotta make sure I'm at the right pressures. Nope. I need to increase the pressure to start inking. So here we go. All right. So I threw out a lot of trivia about this film. If you guys want to throw anything else in it, that'd be great.
No, because I don't know anything.
Do you want to talk about Gene Hackman, maybe?
All I know is Lee Marvin stars in one of my favorite movies from the 80s, which is Delta Force.
It's such a bad film, but it's a bad,
It's
good
terrible.
film.
It's canon. It's so terrible. It's such a, because if you're me, you're probably aware of some stuff, and it's total ripoff of the Entebbe,
Right.
the whole rescue. And we talked about this when I was here when we covered it. It is so crazy, but it's such a fun movie, and it's such a like, oh, this is another vehicle for Chuck Norris's, thing.
Yep.
So it's
And
bad, but it's
I
fun.
love it.
Okay.
I love it. Ooh. They used the Love Boat font. Do you know the Love Boat font?
Love Boat.
Yeah, exactly. They use the same font. It's very 70s. Very 70s.
It is beginning 70s. And they start by showing you how sausage is made. And apparently that turned a lot of people into vegetarians. I'm like, come on, pussies. You should know how your
That's
sausage
right.
is made.
You came
And that comes from a vegetarian.
Yeah. She came to
I never liked meat.
Honestly.
I never liked meat, and I read about vegetarians when I was 10, and I
as
knew
a man
I'm
makes
a
me very
vegetarian.
sad.
Yeah, live with it. Live with it. But I also grew up on
Martin
farms.
got my joke. Martin got
it. Oh yeah.
I didn't even hear the
holidays
joke.
on fucking farms where
That's because
animals
she
get
kept talking
slaughtered.
while I was trying
that
to
was
deliver
not
it.
my problem.
But
Well, both of you are
when I
talking
was in
while
high school, I remember saying this to a girl, friend of mine. She's still a friend of mine, still friends to this day. She says, "Well, you know, I'm lesbian." I went, "But I heard you like meat."
Oh.
And
Gary.
She looked at me. She goes, "I'm lesbian, not vegetarian." I went, "Oh, okay." And I went on to what I was doing, and she didn't understand my joke at all. Still friends to this day. She was actually technically my first girlfriend back in middle school.
I thought she was lesbian.
She became lesbian because it was like
so you were
the last. Yeah, I've already gone through this. I needed psychological help because I was so disturbed by her being lesbian. That what did I do? Kind of shit. But anyway, I made the joke the last time, Martin. Way to steal my previous joke.
Man, Mickey Rourke's in trouble.
Yeah. So
he was they locked him up in a house, a Big Brother house, and they expected him to be behaving like a human being.
Oh yeah, that's Mickey Rourke.
And Mickey Rourke is based as fuck. And he's like, "Who are you voting out first?" The lesbian.
And no shit, did he say that?
Yes. And this is, of course, Big Brother UK. And immediately after that, he said, "I need a cigarette." But he said the British version of cigarette. Right after he said, "I'm going to vote off the lesbian." Even though one would discuss a male gay, and the other is not a male gay. It's definitely gay, but not male. I'm being very careful because this is the shit you will get
they will fucking
a guideline strike.
Yep.
So, and then he just left because everyone around him are like 20-year-olds. And then they called him into the equivalent of Big Brother's calling you into the principal's office.
The principal's office, exactly.
And I was like, yeah, I don't think he gives any shits at all. Like, at all. Anyway, I just thought of that video, and I don't like Big Brother, and I don't watch these shows, but I found it hilarious. Who in their right
I don't like
mind?
those shows either, but I did watch the one where they had Troyer in it, the little midget.
Vern Troyer?
Yeah, Vern Troyer. And I was just so angry and upset that way he got treated by that show.
Yeah, well, the producers are real shitheads.
Oh, they're just scumbags. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're this drama.
Yeah, because people don't realize real life doesn't have a lot of drama. It really doesn't.
And there's a lot of people like me in particular I have gotten up and walked away from people when they start getting overly dramatic. I want no part of this. When you're ready to have a calm, conversation, I will fucking be there. But
yeah,
don't
if you like
bring
to
that
join
shit.
us in the human society where we don't seek violence all the time, you're more than welcome to sit around and talk to me. Yeah. I was getting out of my driveway a few days ago, and there was a guy parking because we live in an apartment building, not a big one, but small one. And there's just enough parking for everyone who lives in the building. If you come in and you like take up one of the spaces and you don't live in the building, you just came to visit, you should park outside in the street. So I came in, knocked on the guy's window because he's, I don't know, listening to music. He was doing his thing, right? And I said, "Look, man, if you're not here, if you don't live here, please get out with your car and just park in the street." And he answered like he is about to knife the freak out of me. And I didn't have any patience to fight, nor did I have any patience to die. Because you know where sometimes people mean business when they talk, and they always talk aggressively as if the next guy is going to shank them.
Right.
That was the response I got from that guy. And I was like, I'm not fucking with this guy today. I don't care. I will, if I need be, I will just call the fucking tow truck and get this guy out of here. But he realized something. I wasn't being aggressive, but as soon as I got into my car, he left. So I don't know if I had any threatening voices or what, because he left.
You got the message across, I think.
Well, sometimes I got to tell you,
I said
fucks given. If you have that zero fucks given when you're talking to somebody, that can be very threatening to somebody who realizes you don't care.
I said, please, if you don't live here, please park outside in the car, because I think I even mentioned the fact that it was the afternoon when people starting to come home and want to like put their car right underneath the house and not park in the street, right? If you have somewhere to park underneath your house and it's really close, sometimes people come in with groceries. I don't care. There's a lot of old people in the building, so I would like them to park close to the house. What do you call the people who are responsible for like paying the bills for an apartment building? It's not a super, sort of like I don't know. I don't know how you call it in the United States.
Well, we have managers.
Not really managers, because nobody owns the building.
Well, landlords own it.
What?
Landlords normally own it, so
no, there's
that's
nobody who owns.
Over here.
No.
Landlords
there's nobody who owns
flats,
buildings.
but there's management for the whole building.
Yeah, nobody owns buildings here. You can't buy a building. You can buy a building if it's a commercial building, but if it's an apartment building, you cannot own the building. But there's sort of a tenants association, we'll call it like that. Somebody has to manage the tenant association. Let's kind of say it like that. Me and my wife do that. Basically, my wife does that. So we're in charge of this whole like parking stuff. So I came in with a little bit of authority, but I wasn't like being aggressive. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. There's Eddie Egan right there, by the way. He's the real Popeye Doyle from French Connection. I wonder how that went the first time, standing there with Eddie Egan on the film, being supervisor on some of the scenes, as well as being in the film, and having Gene Hackman call the character racist and go, Gene, this is Eddie Egan. He's the real Popeye Doyle that said those things. Like, how awkward that must have been. But he was another guy, by the way, that didn't take shit off anybody too, is Gene Hackman.
A lot of these old working actors didn't.
Well, he's also a former military. He was a Marine.
I bet you Michael Caine really didn't take any shit from anybody.
Who's Cocaine? I don't think he did. Who's Cocaine?
Michael Caine.
It's your cocaine.
Yes.
Gotta make that joke.
Of course.
I need to turn on smoothing again because I'm getting ready to do a long line along the back of this coat. So I got to turn on smoothing.
Are you still talking about cocaine, Gary?
Yeah. I got to do a long line.
Not going to say nothing.
Off the back of that guy.
Was not going to say nothing, but you ruined my hack, so I'm pretty pissed right now. I was trying to hack this thing, and now you fucked it up. Oh, no. See, I'm dead.
Why? What's going on?
Trying to hack into this ship to get loot.
Oh, you're playing a video game right now.
Yes, but I'm talking.
What in the name of the Lord Holy Jesus are you talking about?
He's just losing
Baby
another
Jesus.
ship.
I want to do it like in the movie. Oh shit! The car racing movie with Will Ferrell. He keeps going on.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. I don't care if other people don't like it. I fucking love that movie because it was trying to take a shit on it, but they ended up making a really funny film that's kind of very loving to NASCAR. I think they did a really good job of doing that. I was like, I fucking love this movie, Baby Jesus. Sweet baby
It's
Jesus.
the second best NASCAR film of all time, I guess.
Yeah, I would not argue with that at all. I like car race films, by the way. It's one of my favorite genres. Only film I don't like is Tom Cruise's Days of Thunder.
But that's the best NASCAR film of all time.
I just didn't. I don't know why. I wasn't a big fan of that film. I just don't know why. I really don't.
It's fine if you don't like it.
I have no viable reason. It's like, I love Tom Cruise. Why don't I like that movie? I don't know. Now, I like the more foreign racing films like Grand Prix, just those classic 60s movies, James Garner, Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, shit like that. Fucking awesome. But for some reason, I did not like that movie. But then you get up ahead and go to that Will Ferrell movie, and I laughed my ass off at that thing.
Well, some movies do hit you in certain ways where you just cannot explain it. Where you're like, I know this is bad. I'm aware of it, but I absolutely adore this. And whatever this is, that's why, and this is something that I've learned, and to be fair, not shitting on everybody. I really not shitting on everybody. That's why a lot of the content creators that I've followed in the past 6-7 years, I've kind of put them at in an arm's length, and I don't consume their content too much. Because I always find that some movies, even movies that you can say they are technically terrible, terrible story writing, terrible cinematics, terrible dialogue, just awful movies. Like anything woke is just awful because it's technically awful. Because there are definitely movies that we all can say, I love this movie, but I know it's bad. I'm pretty sure that someone at from the younger generation, a movie that we find detestable, they find hilarious and funny and they love it so much, but they don't know why they love it so much. Yeah. So I'm giving a little bit more leeway here.
Yeah, I can't argue with your assessment. I really can't. I think that's very accurate. I'm the same way. I only watch a handful of people's channels because I only have so much time in a day. And one of them I like to watch is Nerd Cookies. I love her content. I love what she's saying about the films. And she's been on the show. I like her a lot. I wish we could have her on more often. I usually save it for when we're talking about something Dune related, but I know she's more than just an aficionado of Dune. But she is really good at what she does. Her research is just the best. I usually, when I have her on, I don't do a lot of talking because she comes with so much knowledge. All right, I need to close that.
It's been a while since she joined us.
Yeah, I really should reach out to her because, we do talk. I just talked to her the other day. And I think I got them all. Did I get them all? Yep, I got them all. Phil. Oh, no.
I never thought about reaching out to her because I don't know if she even likes a
Jews?
broad array of just stop.
Scary.
I don't even care if she loves Jews or not.
I think she's just a very nice person. I think she is.
Yeah, I don't, because look, me and All My Feelings are all over the board with movies, kind of the same as you guys are. So I don't know, because seems to me that she's a kind of person who can focus on one thing and like really dive deep into that subject.
Oh yeah,
because I've seen her Dune videos. They are phenomenal.
They're just amazing, dude.
They are just phenomenal.
Her and Andre
envy.
are, in my opinion,
envy in the work she puts into those videos.
She and Andre are the two real journalists of our groups. I really love her in-depth reporting on some of this stuff and opinion pieces.
But it seems to me that she's focused on a number of titles that she's interested in, which, it's fine. But
that's what she does. It's like she does what she
likes
to talk about.
Yeah, if I want to talk to her about a specific movie, then I would love her to be interested in the movie we're talking about.
I would not be surprised. I think you should reach out because I think she's a bigger fan of other stuff than you would think. I believe that because she is well versed on a variety of subjects.
To be fair, I've been rather lax on actually reaching out to people in the past few months. Like, I wasn't stressed on getting guests at all lately. We've been having a good groove, so I didn't even bother.
You and your show partner?
Yeah. He doesn't do any work. He just shows up. I don't want him to. His notions of what a YouTube channel should or should not do is something that I don't follow.
That was very diplomatic.
I love him. He's my best friend. He really is. And he's contributed to my current success a lot. I will always give him that. But he's not in control of the YouTube channel at all. He doesn't have to, like, he doesn't say anything that goes on the channel. So I don't know. And he has input on what we should do for the show, and I love him for it because he contributes more on the artistic side of stuff that, like, some stuff is like beyond me. He comes up with these things and suddenly they're on the show as if I came up with them, and when like it's all credit to him. But whatever I do with the YouTube channel and the direction and what to go and who, like, who to ban from the chat is all up to me. But he does have an admin. So it's a little bit of a balance there. Recently I talked to him about it. Because there was a guy who, to be fair, I should have muted him, not banned him myself. But I love it when people talk themselves into a corner. And I wanted to give him a chance to talk himself into a corner. And he was very close. And all my feelings is, doesn't want my channel to be destroyed. So he banned him.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah?
Tom Baker says some scenes of Prime Cut remind me of Malone with Burt Reynolds, and I haven't seen that one. Anyone
I have that movie.
That?
We need to watch that because I do have that movie.
What's the parallel of these movies?
I have to go back and watch it. I don't recall offhand.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if I watched it when I was a kid.
Do you want to elaborate on that, Tom?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you're going to have to help me here, Tom, because I do have the movie, but I haven't seen it since, I think the last time I saw it, I was in the Army.
Is this what he says to him? You eat guts? And he says, yep, I like them. Because that plate looked gross.
Yeah, it is gross. Even I, as a meat eater, consider that gross.
I mean, I worked in Croatia for 5 years, and in Southern Europe, cow stomach and shit like that is a specialty. You would be surprised how many restaurants refuse to prepare that dish because it stinks so badly. It stinks up your whole kitchen, and you can't get rid of the smell. So a lot of restaurants are like, no, we don't have that on our menu. Sorry. Need to go someplace else.
What do you mean we've all left? That when the guy was talking?
Pleasure.
Thank you. We all left. Who said that? What about what?
No, he said we've all left. You mean when the guy just kept on writing stuff in the chat? Like I said, I think in hindsight I should have banned him or muted him so he would stop.
As long as it's not racist.
No, it's not.
Or disparaging. I leave them alone. I let people alone. I enjoy their willingness to say things. And
yeah,
I don't.
He was talking. He was just talking shit, just typing stuff, but he wasn't spamming. He wrote a lot of messages, but he wasn't spamming the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, right? So I don't know.
Maybe just letting off some steam, maybe.
Maybe he was trying to goat me into something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, it was all directed at you then.
No, I don't even remember what he said. He wasn't even talking about the movie we talked about or all that. I don't, like I said, he just
sometimes people just like to stir up shit. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I don't think they're a good addition to a
Hallowfield. So. You're a troublemaker, Hallowfield.
With your
that's a message
with your
for you.
drawing questions.
Yeah, exactly. I find myself using Procreate. It's a good program to. My favorite inking program, Hallowfield, is I brought this up before. Is Manga Pro. It's very, very good. It does inking as vector art, so you can ink it any size, and it will look good no matter how much you compress it because it's vector art. It's vector, Victor.
It's Victor.
It's that airplane joke. I can't hear her. Did she make noise?
Yep.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Earlier, she'll start talking. I'll go, fuck you.
Yeah, like she can hear you.
Oh,
It's not
She was
all
asleep
about
on the
you,
bed.
Cat. Make everything
was-
about you.
She was sleeping on the bed after I fed her and just now realized, oh, she's doing a show. I better go interrupt. I better go be a cat. As long as she doesn't jump at me like she did on Wednesday. Oh, you went there, Mephisto. She assaulted me. Out of nowhere, she jumped on my back and dug in her claws.
I hate
Completely
cats.
fucking up my back. And it came
I'm
out of
sorry.
nowhere, so I was shouting at her because it fucking hurt. Chad
To all the
enjoyed that.
cat
Me losing
people,
it with her.
To all the girls I've
to
loved.
all the cat
before.
people, I hate cats. When I grew up, we had a house. Well, I was in an apartment with 5, count them, 5 Siamese cats.
Oh.
They
4,
talk weird.
no,
I don't like the way they talk.
sorry. 3 Siamese, 3 Persian cats, 1 Siamese cat. All females, and one of the Persian cats was male. That house was stinky. And when
It's
I
not
say
the cat's
stinky,
fault, though.
when I say stinky, I mean PU. It's not the cat's fault?
No, it's the owner's fault.
No. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I also hated the owner.
Fix them in time and make sure they have a clean toilet. That's the recipe to not having a stinky
They had a
house with
kitty
having cats.
toilet. They had a kitty toilet that was that went to. They had actually 2 of them because there were lots of cats. And the house stank from cat and cat pee and cat shit all
Yeah, that's
the
usually on
time.
the owners, not on the cats.
That's on the owner.
Yeah.
You can blame the owner. I didn't even like the owner of the cats.
Oh, that was the scene where she gets to choose the clothes, and I'm like, they're all see-through, and she goes for the green one, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that one isn't good choice. Then she puts it on, and it's fucking see-through. I'm like, god damn it! If you give her clothes, give her some like real clothes.
And Lee Marvin is supposed to be the good guy in this movie.
He doesn't bang her. I mean,
But
yeah,
the
it's out
less
of character.
bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He's
The
a
less
mob
bad.
He
He's
is
a mob
technically
enforcer, for Christ's sake.
not a good guy. You would call him simply the protagonist. He
Oh.
is absolutely a murderous gangster.
Oh, so he's like Porter.
Yeah.
Very much like Porter. And you know, he did play Porter. Did you know that?
That's why I mentioned Porter
He played Porter in the first adaptation.
in Point Blank.
In Point Blank, exactly. And he's playing a very similar character. So that's a good catch on your part. So you're smarter than I thought. You can't see me. I'm smiling and laughing.
Sometimes.
I consider you a very good friend. So
Thank you.
You know,
I consider you a good friend too.
I consider if I don't fuck with my friends, who will?
Exactly.
I gotta
That's
help
what
toughen them up, man.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Oh, man. This is an interesting subject that's happening in this scene I'm drawing right now. This is the scene where Frank Tedesco, he's the lead investigator. He's what you refer to as a detective sergeant. but he's in league to become an inspector because he's doing so well. And he's former FBI, which is what you find out in this story. You get the whole backstory because he goes in and he's talking to himself. I've got this guy. This is my man. This is the vigilante. And he's looking right at Kurt Yeager's face, John Russell in the book. And he's like, I've got him. And now I got to get him to trip up. And he tries talking to him. And he says, is there a place where we can talk more privately? And Kurt says, yeah, we can go over into one of the offices that's not being used right now. It's a weekend. So as he comes out from behind the desk, he comes out in a wheelchair with a leg missing. And immediately, Tedesco is like, oh my God, I've got the wrong guy. Because he's thinking special forces. This is my guy. He's got all the skill. I know this is my guy. And then he starts backtracking, and it's funny. And it was purely by chance that he's even in the wheelchair that weekend because he's waiting for the delivery of his new leg. And by doing so, he convinces Tedesco to remove him as a suspect.
And I love his inner monologue where he's like, I'm surprised how easy that was.
That was so easy. I just come out from behind the desk and he's already fucking self-deprecating. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he
Can I
feels
buy
so
you a drink?
shitty. He turns to me and says, hey, can I buy you a beer? And he says, well, make that a Guinness and I'm all in.
I love that. It has to be
And that's what the scene is right here. He's walking away like Columbo, just completely defeated. And he goes, hey man, I'm sorry. I was an asshole. I feel like a heel. Can I buy you a beer? And he smiles and make it a Guinness. And so this is how they become friends. He becomes friends with the cop that's hunting him. I like those kinds of stories.
It's the best
Spacek's
disguise.
breakthrough came when she played the abused teen misfit title character with telekinetic powers. And Gambit, thank you for saying telekinetic powers, because one of the Hollywood magazines put up an article about Sissy Spacek this week. And what is in the headline? Psychic. That there's this new girl. There's this new girl being cast to play the new TV series of Carrie, where they're going to try to do the whole book, I guess. But the journalist says with psychic powers, and I got fucking angry. I'm like, how can you be that fucking stupid to not know the difference between psychic and telekinesis?
Hollywood, Gary.
I've known that since I was like 4.
I know, but the people in Hollywood are stupid. That's nothing new.
Well, this is a journalist. It's not like Hollywood doing this. It's a journalist that said it, and it just fucking irked me to no end. Well, there was an end when I just put the article down.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I get it.
There was an end. It's called a bell end. Wait.
Ha ha!
Wait. Shh. There.
Shush. Don't shush me. Nobody shushes me.
You can't talk all over the drums.
You don't shush me.
Well, now she's telling him about the house where they groom all the little girls.
And I do like that ending because it's sort of like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You know, he frees the children that were slaves. They were being groomed by these fucking sick people to be prostitutes.
One of the best scenes in this movie is when that woman opens the door and looks at her and says like, do I know you? And she says like, you sure do, and just knocks her out, fist right in her face.
And she's got that.
I like your style.
I love Sissy Spacek's country girl accent. That's why she was so perfect as Loretta Lynn and Coal Miner's Daughter. I remember I fucked with William Sanderson, who plays her uncle in the movie, Coal Miner's Daughter. We were at dinner, and I said, "How did you achieve that accent when you played the uncle? It sounded so genuine, like you were from Tennessee." And he just sort of looked at me for a second, like with a blank look, and I just started laughing. I'm just kidding. I know that's your actual accent. He has a country accent. I love Sandhoon. He's a funny dude. Shut up, cat. Stupid cat.
She's going to be quiet. She's in my lap now.
Yeah. If you believe that, I've got some land in Florida to sell you.
Come on, you should know her by now. She eats, then she sleeps a little bit, and then she goes to do her business, and then she comes to alert me. It stinks. Put it away, because she's too stupid to put the litter on top of it. She's scratching everywhere but in the litter box. I tried.
If you don't know me by now. That's her song. That's her favorite song right there.
Yeah, that's her
You
song.
will never, ever, ever know me. Who was that? Simply Red?
Yes.
Loved that song back in the 80s, man. Early 90s. I'm not sure if that came out in the 80s or if it did come out in the 90s. I know is
I think it came in the late 80s.
Late 80s.
They had a record. It wasn't their most famous one, but I think it was their first one. 88 or 89. I think and that song was there on that.
And Sax is here. So
Bye, Sax.
Fuck you, Kyle.
I've come up with a new turn of phrase just for Zax. He is super Zaxy.
oh my god.
Don't you roll your eyes at me, mister. He has some of the most interesting panelists of anybody. I shit you not. I've been on several of Zax's shows, and there are times when I'm just having a blast talking. But man, I will get on there there's a couple of people he gets on there that just I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation with this person, and I get really quiet. I'm like, I do not know how to talk with this person. But his shows are always entertaining. If you're not watching Zax, man, you're missing some good shit.
I want to watch him live. I can't wait until I'm in the right time zone for that.
Yeah, when you're in my time zone, you and I can actually hop on there with him.
Oh, well.
Oh, I guarantee you he will love that. Right,
he was
Zax?
talking about that when I started with PCM. He kept saying, I'd love to have you on, but we could never figure out a time slot that would make sense for both of us, because when he streams, it's 5 a.m. for me.
Zax is just an all-around good dude.
Oh, I love him. I wish he would still come on our show sometimes.
Oh, man. He's a very knowledgeable dude, too, especially on nerd shit. Gotta love that.
Hear that, Sax? Please come on and do nerd shit with us.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, yeah.
But bring some tissue so you can wipe yourself off.
Afterward, yeah.
Hey, you said nerd shit, so you need to wipe.
Gary did that first.
Of course.
That's what he's making a joke about, baby. What I said.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
He's not stealing jokes from me.
Might not be catching all the jokes.
I'm not stealing jokes.
Yeah, he's not stealing my jokes, baby.
I can't steal jokes.
That's not what I... Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
I don't know, but it was funny.
It's ganging up on a woman. I think it's called a gang bang.
Oh
my.
Oh my God.
How dare you?
Thank you, Marty.
I'll also point out, even though I like the whole combine scene at the end, I was just like,
Did they come? Oh shit!
Almost wasteful the way they did it.
Sorry, I left something on my mic. It's called a speaker.
It's called Boomer.
No, not Boomer. Just pressed on the wrong button. So I was asking, did the Kanban come in and mowed all these people down?
Yeah,
No,
No, it
I don't
mowed
know
down the
why.
car.
it mowed down a car.
Yeah, the people got
Oh.
away, but the car got screwed.
That's
Scary
not
scene.
that.
It
That's
is. It's
not
a cool
fun.
scene in many ways, but I was just like, I don't know. I just thought it was unnecessary scene because it's not going to get anybody.
No, it's too slow. And they are doing the
That's
right
sort of
thing,
like
doing
the scene
zigzag.
in Austin Powers where they're in
Yeah.
the steamroller and the guy's like yelling "No!" and he's like a mile away and they're traveling at like 2 miles an hour. It's fucking funny. But I do like this whole carnival scene because he has the local people all fucking duped. So there was a good story here. There really was. But I think that they went so much for almost shock value with it that I think it missed the mark. And I think that this film should have been directed by Sam Peckinpah. I think this film would have been 1,000 times better. And the shootout in particular. Guaranteed slow-mo death scenes.
Three out of four, really. Okay.
What are we talking about? For this.
Robert,
Well, it's still a damn good film in my opinion, but I think it would have been so much better directed by somebody like Sam Peckinpah. Because I got to be honest, the director of this film, Michael Ritchie, he's best working with comedy, and comedy is not for this film. There's no comedy in this film. It is. Oh, I agree with him. I wish I'd talked to him about that when I knew him. This movie never popped up in a conversation, not once.
With whom?
Roger Ebert, because I used to work for the Octopus magazine,
Oh, okay.
and because I was a published critic, I got to hang out with guys like Roger Ebert. He would come down to Champaign-Urbana, man. And I got to tell you, he really is a nice guy. But I made fun of him, and I think I pissed him off. So we didn't hang out after that.
Then you definitely pissed him off.
I also left the magazine around about the same time. So I don't know whether it was one or the other. But I will tell you that we were going to the Virginia Theater in downtown Urbana. And they were showing, it was the only 70 millimeter movie projector in central Illinois. And it was during the Cyberfest, which Urbana, Illinois is where HAL 9000 was made in the book and in the film. And so Cyberfest was celebrating the date that he was born, which was in 97. He went online in 97. And so in celebration of HAL 9000 in the film 2001, they were going to have a special showing at the Virginia Theater, 70 millimeter print. And they broke the 70 millimeter projector out of mothballs because it was in mothballs. It was really in a closet, stored away. And they pulled it out, made sure it was running, and they did a showing. And he and I got invited. And so he and I went to this restaurant, catty corner from the theater. And he got a hoagie, as I recall. I think it was the hoagie, or it might have been a hero sandwich. And it was wrapped, and he was carrying it up the stairs as we were going up, and he was right in front of me. And I got to remind you, I was not chubby back then. I was very thin, military like build. And I'm walking right behind him, and he stumbles on the carpeted stairs and falls forward. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh God, I hope he doesn't fall on me. It's like the first thing that went to my mind is like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't fall on me. I forgot about that. And but he went forward, and I shit you not, he treated that sandwich like he was a running back with a football and cradled it with both his fucking hands and arms and took the hit on the stairs as he fell forward. with his right shoulder. And I couldn't help it. I chuckled. And he turned and shot me a look, and I said, "Sandwich okay?" It was a dirty look that he gave me. And I couldn't help it. It was fucking funny. A fat guy protecting his fucking sandwich. That was hilarious to me.
Gary,
Yeah.
when was Hal in the lore? When did he come online? 1997? Is there a
Hold on.
specific?
Yeah, there was a date. Hal 9,000.
Oh, I thought I could have looked. I'm wondering something.
Came online date. Oh, it's 92.
Oh,
But however, in the novel, yes, in the novel is 1997, January 12th.
Okay.
So, and that's what was treated as Cyberfest in Illinois because that's when he came online. And they do have a computer there. What is the name of that computer?
I'm only asking, Gary. It's that important. I'm only asking because you know what other dangerous AI came online in 1997?
Yeah, from Terminator.
Skynet. Yeah, but that
Skynet
was August 4th.
Came online and became self-aware.
Yeah.
See if
Bill just joined us. He's mic rating, so I suppose Mike has done his show. And now Bill is joining our chat. And no, we're not up to date with Bosch yet. We're still working on the original Bosch, and we couldn't find the new episodes of Bosch Legacy so far.
University of Illinois Urbana, birthday of Hal. But what is the university hosts a national center? Because the computer there is the one that nobody could beat playing chess. And it's got a name, and I fucking don't remember it.
Big Blue?
Is that it?
The only big computer that I know that beat Kasparov is Big Blue. And they kind of mentioning it in Ex Machina because they're trying to get a test.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. You got it. You nailed it, dude. It's Big Blue. Big Blue is the super intelligent computer at the U of I. And nobody could beat it on playing chess. Hey, D-Bud.
The thing about it, it's really interesting, is that the whole point of Ex Machina is this big CEO wants the programmer to be the human component in the Turing test, which is a test to see if the AI is self-aware. And the thing is, after the first session, he goes to the CEO and he's like, I don't know what is going on because I feel like I'm in a loop because I think this is a very smart computer that doesn't know. It's sort of like playing chess with a computer that doesn't know what chess is. He just knows how to do these plays.
Right.
So he knows the technicality of how to do things, but I'm not sure he knows what the pieces really are or what they mean in the real life.
The one that gets me is computers that are incapable of being self-aware, which they talk about in Blade Runner. And it leads to a great line from Deckard. Doesn't know. How can it not know what it is? Commerce, Tyro says. Commerce. And more human than human is our motto. God damn it, I love that movie. Despite Ridley Scott. Because Ridley Scott made something that is visually incredible.
What's that?
Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it's got so many problems structurally as a story.
The only issue I really had with it is the voiceover in a certain scene. That was just too much.
Well, it's not too much. It just ends up being clunky because it interrupts this emotional moment of Roy Batty's death. And so, just to let you know, Andre gave me a master copy of Blade Runner just so I can eventually do an edit to fix that.
Nice.
Because it's got all versions of the film in one video file. And it will allow me to fiddle with the narration so it works better. Because I did like the narration. I'm one of those people who's a fan of it.
All right, guys, I'm fading out over here.
Yeah,
so
it's late. What is it? Almost 2
it's
o'clock.
12:30, but I'm
it's 12:30.
I'm fading out. I thought it would
I
get
had
to
no idea
like
you were
1
pushing.
a.m.
I thought
and
it was
leave.
actually late.
Who is this Andre?
He's an
You
hour ahead of me, Gary.
deep butt.
What's that? Oh, you fucking know who I'm talking about.
He's just fucking with us.
I know. He does
All
a
right,
lot of stuff with them.
I'm gonna go to bed. Right.
All right, buddy. Thanks for popping in and hanging out with us, dude.
You know I'd love to come over when I can. Even my wife was like, "Are you going tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to come to bed with you and not do that, but like sleep?" And
you want me to put my penis in you?
No. No, you go ahead and run along and talk to your friends.
Go play with your friends.
Go play with your friends. Yeah. Anyway, it's my problem is solvable by moving to the U.S., but that's not gonna happen.
Oh, you're never gonna do that, dude. You love it there.
We're
literally
thinking about moving, like getting moving out of this place where we own it and moving to a place where we have like a house and a garden and all that stuff and rent out this place and live in a rented out place somewhere else. And I said, well, that's gonna fuck up my daughter's like love life because she has this boyfriend now. So
it's a good way to get rid of him.
Well, yes, but I was also 14 and I don't want to do it to her. So it is what it is. Anyway, good night.
Good night, my friend. Have a good one.
Good night.
So, he just lost the combined scene.
That was terrifying.
I do love that scene. It's scary, but I think that it would have been better if they'd given it a purpose. Because I felt like it didn't really have a purpose.
They also dragged it out a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Just having them... I mean, they do the right thing by doing zigzag running because the machine isn't as fast, changing direction. But they...
Serpentine!
Shorter.
It's called serpentine running. Serpentine! What movie did that? I forget.
I don't know.
Me too.
I'm asking Mark because I figured he would know.
I know I have seen it, but I can't for the love of me remember. Well. The thing is, I don't know how fast or agile this specific combine is, but I think that if she's coming at you, you can even go around it, and you can just stand by the driver's door, and no matter how they move the
Land
combine,
of the Lost. Always run
Land
in a
of the
serpentine
Lost?
fashion right there. Let me zoom in for you guys.
Okay, you may or may not believe this was. I like the original TV show,
What show?
Land of the Lost.
Oh, I've talked about it, dude. I love that. I hate this movie. I
And
hated it.
that's my point. I like both. I like both approaches. I don't have any problems because they made a comedy out of a serious show, but it's not to mock the show. It's a comedy made out of love for the show. You can feel that.
I
So
felt
that's what
completely
I like.
different. I felt that it was a mistake making the film because it didn't take the source material seriously and give it its due respect. And
Yeah, well,
I only like Will Ferrell in certain films. I can only handle so much of him.
we have we have Tim with a personal message for Anima.
Oh yeah, he's torturing me. He sent that to me via Messenger. He wants the song to never again disappear from my head. It's living there rent free permanently. But I cannot evict
There you
it.
go. There you go, Tim.
By what name are you known? There are some who call me Tim.
And anyone who brings it up, just like Backdoor, you get an audio.
Oh no.
So ornery inside real wrong.
Oh my god. I love Trey Parker.
And you love to make me suffer.
Well, I just love you. So if suffering
Okay.
gets brought into it, that's just like gravy on my potatoes.
I know you can see me, guys, but I'm blinking twice, heavily, repeatedly. Save me. Yeah, but I just saw Gremlins.
Oh,
and
now it's
Ratchet.
Gavin.
It's enough. It's enough. Please. Give Tim a breach video.
Yeah? What? Oh, yes.
That's why.
Oh. Oh.
It's not the best, but give him one anyway.
I'm wanting to do a film.
Here.
Oh,
Wait.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
So I'm wanting to do another film. Oh, I've lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Squirrel.
No, it's like it's in there and then it's gone.
Let's backtrack. We were talking about backdoors and feeling ornery.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Me blinking twice for somebody to save me because you like
I'm
to make
sorry.
me suffer.
I'm old, and that shit it's
You
there for a
are.
moment, and then it's gone.
Like a fart.
Yeah. You're made for each other.
I mean,
Thank you.
some live, some don't.
Oh, you know what can you do, people in the audience? You can record yourself, video or audio, singing the song, and then you send it up to us. We will play it here, or even or maybe we can build the whole song with fragments of it sung by each of you.
You're trying so hard to get fired, Martin. Well, the idea is kind of nice, though.
I would regret nothing.
I regret
I
nothing.
know.
Nothing. Okay, I got to put the wrinkles into his taped off leg.
Hey, really, Bill? Hey, Bill says that Warfare is out now.
Yeah, but a certain website is down, and it's causing problems for us. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I thought Warfare was.
I'm actually looking to. I'm looking forward to see it in the theater. It was already seen by Polly. I know that.
Is Travis taking you?
That was what I was trying to do, is to see if Travis and I could go see it in the theater.
I was planning on going to see the remake of The Amateur tomorrow, but I haven't checked the billboard.
Yeah, I don't like going to a theater to see stuff, so I'm not doing that on my own. I will go with Gary, and I'm really looking forward to going to drive.
Well, I liked it when we went to a movie at the same time. You in one country,
Black
and me in the
Adam.
other.
That was Black Adam. Yeah, we watched that half an hour apart.
Yes, Gambit, that's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
What?
Yeah, you go.
Gambit is gonna send us a copy of him singing "I'm So Lonely."
He says, "Yeah, I'll do my best to send my tape of the tune just for your freaking entertainment." Please do.
Oops. Matt Damon.
Yeah. That was a weird
Oh
movie.
yeah, Bill. Of course, my favorite movie ever, G20.
I will never watch that movie.
Here's a question for us, Gary. Debert says, speaking of Polly, Cameron will be on his show. Is Cameron still on for tomorrow's Frankenstein stream? I guess we put Frankenstein on tomorrow because we had to bump it because Cameron wasn't available. But
yeah, we
I don't
still
know.
have to.
Okay, you're asking me questions, and I'm not sure. Who?
Cameron Pasha. We need to get back with him because we wanted to do shows with him, but then Ramadan happened. So
I'm not going to have him on when I'm doing shit like this.
Okay.
So
we will do it, but later. Has to wait a couple of weeks.
Frankenstein and Evolution. Those shows are going to be floating. We are still waiting for the guests to have their agenda
Chris's
clear.
friend, yeah, that one's tough to
their
schedule.
Schedule.
Also, I've been in communication with Tom Conkle to come on as a guest panelist, and I've asked my old friend Katie Haber, who was, we wouldn't have Blade Runner without her. She's amazing. She's been an assistant for directors and does so much work. And she worked with Sam Peckinpah on, I think, 7 of his films. She worked with him all the way until 1979, and then started moving in another direction. And Peckinpah only did I think he did a music video or something else at that point. So she's going to come on as a guest, and we're going to do a retrospective on all of her films with Sam Peckinpah.
And that's going to be a Saturday show.
She was. I showed you the message she sent. She was very happy to hear from me.
Yeah, I just don't know her answer yet. Last thing I saw was you asking her if Saturday would work. I'm not sure I saw her.
She'll get back to me in her own time. I never.
I know you're planning that for the Saturday slot because that's one of our best time slots in the week.
I'm so lonely. I can't help it. I like that fucking song.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm doing right now, Gary, right?
No clue.
I'm doing the
He's taking a
counting that the
note.
bondsman. No, I'm doing the counting that the bondsman does, so he doesn't do anything stupid.
I like that show.
Oh, I love it. And I can't believe
Kevin
they
Bacon
ended it with
played in
that fucking cliffhanger without having season 2 confirmed yet. How stupid is that?
Oh, and they rolled the dice because it is really fucking good.
This show needs to be renewed, but then they are canceling good shows left and right. The link you sent me last night.
Oh, that broke my
So
heart.
So
So
help
help me,
Todd.
Todd. So help me, Todd.
Yeah. That show has fans. It has good views, and they're dropping it after 2 seasons. How dare they?
They canceled it last fall, and I didn't even know about it. I just read about it and learned. It was back in, I think, September.
I think it was a bit later, but that was one of the shows that I kept looking for. Has the next season started yet? And now this drops on us that they are not going to continue it. Not even another station picking it up. It's a shame. There's been petitions. Tens of thousands of fans signed them. Please continue. But
don't end the show.
It was good.
Fuck you.
It was good, and it has enough fans to continue. But they're dropping it to do reality shit, I guess. I don't know. That hurt me when I read that article. When you finally find something on TV that's actually good, and then it just doesn't get a chance. That's sad. Oh yeah, but Last of Us gets a season 2. Oh, okay. I dropped out halfway through season 1.
Yeah, it's a terrible show.
It is. Terrible writing, terrible acting, terrible casting.
I got to tell you, and it's not because of what he did with Gina Carano. I don't like Pedro Pascal as an actor. I really don't think he's very good.
No, he's not.
And his face looks squished. It's really bizarre.
He was okay as the Mandalorian as long as he had his helmet on.
Yeah, I didn't want to see his face.
Yeah. The moment he takes the helmet off, the show.
And they augmented his voice so much that it was, it was enjoyable. This is the pub that Detective Tedesco and he go to. It's based on a few pubs in Seattle, but I put this one as a roadside pub between Seattle and Bellevue. So it's fictional.
But that's why they go to have that Guinness. And Gary always sends me his artwork before he goes to bed, so I see it when I wake up. And they're talking over that said Guinness, and I'm like, damn it, it's been forever since I had Guinness. And then I go shopping, and the supermarket in my block has all beers on a 25% discount. So I was like, fuck it, I'm buying Guinness because it's expensive. But
here, I'll let you guys read the. I'll let you guys read this. Move it over some more because you can't read that. There we go. He says, well, shit, I feel like a complete asshole. Can I buy you a beer? And he's like, tell you what. Make it a Guinness and I'm all in. And then there's more narration. I couldn't believe how easy it was to lose his interest. It almost hurt my feelings. So, there's supposed to be a comma there. So Tedesco followed me to a favorite hangout for the guys and me. A little Irish pub just outside Federal Way. Yeah, not Bellevue, Federal Way, which is where I used to live. I lived in Federal Way and worked in Seattle. So why do you feel so bad that you had to buy me a drink? He says, I thought you were my guy, the vigilante, but I'm sorry. But doesn't need to be there. When I saw your amputation, I realized that you can't be my guy.
I was okay with that, but because he's fumbling around his apology, he doesn't really know how to address the elephant in the room, so to speak, the missing leg.
So I'll put this up so you can actually read this if you look at it. Wait, so you dismissed me as a suspect because of my leg? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I could get canceled for saying it. And then he said, you dismissed me, man, as the suspect.
I like
He
that
goes,
piece of
forget it.
dialogue.
What?
They're bonding.
He goes, forget it. What I want to know is what's up with the Mohawk? Are you former military or American Indian? He goes, well, both. I served in the Navy, which is true. My buddy Shane, who is the model for this character, I served in the Navy, didn't see any action, but yeah, I'm also half Ojibwe, which is what? I have 1.2% Ojibwe blood and DNA. And he has, I think, close to 50%. And when you see Shane, he's been on the show. He's been in the chat. In fact, he showed up, a week ago in the chat. And he is absolutely, you can see the American Indian in him. He goes, plus chicks seem to dig the Mohawk. I've been wearing it since the FBI. And that's when, because John didn't know that. He goes, whoa, a hat trick. I don't know. Do you guys know what a hat trick is?
Not sure. I wanted to
hat
ask
trick-
you about that, but we didn't have time.
A hat trick is a trifecta of things. Like a hat trick, 3 things. Like a salesman, if he makes 3 sales in a day, that's referred to as a hat
I know
trick.
that from sports. 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, 3 wins
Yeah.
is a hat trick. So he goes, whoa, a hat trick. You were also in the FBI? You see any shit while you were an agent? He goes, yeah. Okay, your turn for a war story. He goes, a few years back, I ran into a really crazy situation. I can't go into a lot of details, but there was an international incident where I met this operative. We rescued some people and then smoked some bad guys. But the story starts 10 years later. So I'm like, yeah, that's a story, but the real story takes place 10 years later. And he goes into telling it. And I'm not going to let you guys see it.
So that is the Tedesco backstory chapter, right?
Yep. This is where he
Okay.
talks about shit that he did when he was in the FBI. Let me hit save. I made some edits there. Let's see. Oh, we're 8 minutes. I'm not going to be able to finish this drawing on the show. I'll save this for tomorrow. 3 goals in hockey. Absolutely. That's a hat trick. Federal boob inspector. Yeah. Let me get off the main screen here. Yeah, Bill, I don't know what to think of that, dude. It's concerning. My concern is in some of the hiring habits with air traffic. And I am concerned that there may be some malice behind this shit.
I don't know. I mean, these helicopters are old and they're flying so many tours every day. Because I read somewhere that they were running out of fuel. No, they were not. The pilot just announced, I'm about to land and I need to refuel this time. They do that. They announce that, hey, upon this landing, I need to refuel because that's all there's time for. Refuel and then up with the next tourist group. I've been to New York. They fly, they land, they get the next couple of tourists
this
on,
one,
they fly again.
something catastrophic happened.
I don't know.
And
Might be
no,
just-
you could see something catastrophic happened because when the
that,
video
yes.
starts, you see the helicopter flying. You don't see the blades flying away, but something got
The tail
decimated.
end broke off. Yeah. So I'm guessing maybe just
And the prop was gone too.
tired material and they didn't catch it, or I don't know. These things get worn out, these helicopters. They are safe, actually. But by flying them constantly, all the time, might just really have been something technical gone wrong that nobody caught in time. But anyway, it's tragic. And what broke my heart was I read in this morning's newspaper that 2 of the victims were found alive and sent to hospitals and died there. And that's just horrible.
It is. It's heartbreaking.
Shit like that happens. You at least hope it's quick for them, but 2 of them got sent to hospitals.
were they adults or children? Because that once
They
I
didn't
saw,
say.
I
They
had
didn't
hopes
say.
they survived, but when I saw the speed that it went down and how hard it hit, you could hear it. I'm like, yeah, nobody survived that. Nobody can
It was
survive
tumbling in the air. It was upside down, and then it just was spinning all the way down to the water, kind of. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, man.
It is.
Those poor kids
Yeah, the
having a
youngest
good
was
time
only
with their
4 or
parents.
5.
Just having a good time with their parents, man.
Yeah. Still, small planes crash all the time. There are so many accidents in private air traffic.
Well, we haven't seen anything like this before. This many in such a short period of time, and that's why the concern about air traffic control with these people, as well as these pilots. We're seeing way too many DEI hires. I do not want somebody that was a DEI hire flying me. I want somebody that was hired because they were fucking best in their class.
Yeah, it should always be the skills first. And I mean, even in air traffic, there are places where you can do DEI hires, like disabled people, but
you don't put them in jobs where a disability could be an infringement on
Yeah.
them getting their job done.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
I get you.
I know. We talked about this before.
I want to wrap this up.
Oh, this is my favorite scene. Do I know you? You sure do. Fist straight to the face. Bam. Knocks her out. You've got fine style. I mean, it's totally unbelievable that she would be able to throw a punch strong enough because she's skin and bones, but I still liked it. It was very satisfying.
Well, the other one is an old lady, so
yeah, I've hit a few of them. They're pretty easy to take down.
You're a fucking bear. And she hits like a girl.
I have never hit a woman. I did in high school.
You did. You hit a woman with a teddy bear.
Oh, no, that doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Okay.
No, what I'm talking about is when I was in high school, there was this girl. I won't say her last name, but her first name was Michelle. And her brother, he had a colostomy bag. He's the one I told you about that we stole didn't steal. He gave it to us to use as a joke, and gave us a colostomy bag. And I went and I filled it with corn and chocolate pudding. And we went to a restaurant, and I acted like I was having a seizure, fell out of the chair, and my shirt came up on purpose, and that bag is just sitting there taped to my side, and I'm grabbing at it, and it pops open, and all that pudding and corn came out all over me, all over the floor. Oh, man.
Gross.
No videos. We used to do pranks with no videos because we just thought it was funny. We didn't do, I think it was 87 when Matt McGuire, the guy from Guar, he's a Razor, I forgot his character's name. We've got a video on our channel promo for the show by him. Zoid, it's almost like Zoidberg, the way he says the name. And yeah, we did a few pranks that we caught on video, including we went to a Hardee's, and one time I was the guy sitting in the restaurant to be interviewed, and they were carrying the camera, which was a big VHS camera, so it looked professional with the mic on top and everything. And Matt McGuire is wearing his dress pants and white shirt with a tie, and he comes up. I'm from WDCA Television, and we had a report that there was somebody here that was taken by aliens. And he's looking around, and I'm sitting way over in the corner. Oh, that was me. That was me. I called y'all to tell you really came here. He's like, yeah. So I started telling him. I said, yeah, It was a mixture of a UFO incident and an Elvis Presley thing. He goes, wait, what? And so I started telling this fucked up story about how these aliens did avant-garde experiments on me. And I used the word avant-garde because I thought it was funny. And then afterward, he says, that's an amazing story. Is there anything else? And he goes, well, after I came back, I saw Elvis right here in this Burger King. And we had a little crowd forming watching this fake interview. And he says, well, what happened? He says, well, he came over and he sat right next to me. Now I'm sitting there with my Whopper and he's eating the king because he's the king, baby. He's eating the king sandwich. And he looked over at me. And he says, you want to give me a pickle? And that was when I knew that was Elvis Presley. And rest of the I can't even remember. It was like a bunch of stupid shit, like he's a Sasquatch, Elvis sightings. And it was fun. We used to do those little pranks and catch them on video. It was 87, first time I started doing something like that with my friends. And we liked doing pranks. I loved pranking people. But I don't like malicious pranks. And that's the problem with pranksters today. They're malicious.
They're not pranking people, they're bullying them.
Yeah, it's a form of bullying. That incident that took place in a mall where the guy was cutting off this Uber delivery guy.
The guy that shot him on the leg.
And the Uber guy felt threatened by him because he wouldn't let him go by. And he pulled out a pistol and fucking shot him. And it was justified.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't fucking do that. Now we got two guys going to prison for this shit. That one over in Korea is the Somali Joe or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's going to be in jail for a while. Prison, not jail. I'm sorry, prison. That shit's crazy. I couldn't do that. I don't like hurting people. And
what's the difference between jail and prison? Isn't that the same thing?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Jail is temporary.
Jail is temporary housing. Sometimes you get sentenced to jail though. Like Tracy, Zoe's mom, didn't go to prison. She got a year in jail.
Okay,
that's
interesting.
If you are charged for anything over a year, I think here in Missouri in particular, if you're charged with something and convicted and get more than 1 year, that's when they send you to prison.
I think we only have the short-term holding. That's called U-Haft, Untersuchungshaft. That's the place you go until they know what to do with you exactly, or that's prison. Simple as that.
Now, I'm going to see if there's any news about this, because this is something, Martin, that I think you'll be interested.
Hey, Gary, Sander is curious about your abduction. He wants to know, did they give you anal probes?
Okay, what I ended up saying after the avant-garde experiences, he says, but I was, they did things to me that I just can't explain. Oh, did I tell you I was a woman before I went up there?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that was one of the things I said. I wish I could remember all of it. You're talking about something that took place 40 years ago. It's like almost 40 years. That's
I wish I wasn't old and able to remember.
Oh, I used to remember this shit really well because I have that deep drawer, and somewhere in that drawer is but my retrieval system's so much slower as I'm getting older. I need to start taking that stuff. Why did it suddenly get black in here? What's going on?
Okay.
Stop! Stop!
Hello. I didn't do anything. Wasn't me.
No, Martin and I just start clicking at the same time. It's funny.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hello.
Oh, it's going pretty good. Show's over. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, my life gets complicated.
I know. Well, right now I'm so busy doing this book that it's hard for me to concentrate on talking. And I'm so grateful, Mephisto showed up today. And it's going to be like this through to the end of June, because I think it's going to take me that long to finish this book. And I'm
Well,
even though I can only draw 2 hours to 3 hours at a time. I have to stop because right now I have this dull pain going right here into my jaw, right there, and it's going down my arm on the outside of the arm through the elbow, right here, and it's just dull, stabbing, dull pain. It's like it feels like my nerves are made of clay and they're being stabbed by something.
easy.
And so I got to limit how much I work. So I stop, and what I do is I sit back and then I start writing because I can write right here. I can lean all the way back and type and do stuff. But what I'm finding out is I can actually draw a scene with the dialogue faster than I can actually write, because when I'm writing, I have to switch to another part of my brain. It's still creative, but I'm doing creative writing. And I find it easier just to draw the stuff. Well, I grew up in an area of Virginia, Gambit, where there was a lot of UFO activity. And in fact, where did Betty and Barney Hill? Because I think he was from Virginia, but I can't remember if it took place in Virginia. And I've got that movie, by the way, if you want a copy of it, Keith. The Betty and Barney Hill story with James Earl Jones. And Anima and I just started watching it together. We got about 30 minutes into it, right when they started doing the regression therapy. I've always been a little scary. Sandra, I'm going to, because I'm blunt and honest. I actually got slipped that by a guy by the name of John. I won't say his last name. Well, wait, no, not John. I'll say his last name. And his name isn't John. It's Sweden. And him and his sister were friends of mine. And John thought it'd be funny if he put some in my chili. He put a little drop of it. It was a paper dab that dissolved in the chili, and I ate it. And by the time chili ended and I'm walking down the hallway, I started tripping balls. And I thought I was having a stroke or something, or some kind of seizure. And I fell to the ground and I just kind of hugged the wall. I just sat there, and they called the principal out and the vice principal and the social person. What do you call them in schools? The guidance counselor came out, and all three of them were trying to talk to me. And then they called for an ambulance, which had to go 50 fucking feet from the high school.
Wow.
Ambulance came and got me, took me 50 feet across the street into the ER. And I'm like, what, you guys could have driven me there? And found out what had happened. I got in trouble for it. I got suspended for it.
What?
And it was one of those incidents where I saw the guy a few days after I got back. And I said, hey, man, it's almost like the tattoo situation when I got tattooed when I was drunk by a friend. He did a prison tattoo on my arm. This one. U.S. Army, combat medic, death dealer. Trained to heal, trained to kill. I'm like, trained to heal, trained to kill. They don't really rhyme, but that's the thing. That's their motto. Trained to heal, or trained to heal, or trained to kill, trained to heal. So he sees me and I went, hey, man. And he goes, hey. And then I just start walking towards him, and he gets that look like, and he starts backing away from me and then took off running. And he avoided me for probably about 3 or 4 months till I just sort of let it go. Wow. He didn't sit with me for a while at lunchtime. And I didn't trust him because, like, he was at the table one time and I wanted to get up to go, you go get the ice cream sandwich or whatever from the snack line. And I remember those, man. I love that, getting the ice cream sandwiches. That one or a nutty buddy. And I got up to go, and I stopped and I looked at Jim Woodward and I said, watch my food. And then I looked at John and I walked away. I told you about that incident where somebody hit me in the back of the head with something in the lunchroom. It was some kind of food, but it didn't stick to me. It just fell to the floor in a plop. And I turned and looked and I said, okay, which one of you guys did that? Get up, be a man, let's take the beating. And this little fucking dwarf of a kid stands up, 9th grader. This little black kid. He goes, I did it. What are you going to do? And I just stood there for a minute doing the math in my head. I went, yeah, I'm just going to sit down now and just shut up. I just sat down and shut up. I was like, I cannot go kick that kid's ass. It would be bad all
See, I
around.
would have just turned to him and said, "Why don't you ask your mom where your real dad lives?" And then
Well,
sat
see,
back down.
I would have thought of stuff like that later. Like I had to come back. Bush was talking to me privately, and I told him, I said, yeah, if a doctor asked me that or said that to me about being morbidly obese, I said, I'm not, but my dick is. But of course, the doctor who said it to me would have known that it's not true because I'd be in a gown and he would have been doing a full body exam and it wouldn't have made sense. Hey, Bill Barkley, what's your take on Fantastic Four from the recent feedback that people have been saying about it?
Here's my take. Everything about this movie looks great. I've enjoyed the answers that have been put out there about how they filmed it
What about the
and their
gender
inspirations.
fluidity of Sue Storm?
Well, here, let me at least say this. For the record, this movie looks fantastic, except for Pedro Pascal. He is
Yeah, he's got a
sticking out.
squish. He looks like a squished puppet rather than a human being. His face
just
doesn't look good.
He doesn't seem like Reed to me. There's nothing
Reed
about what they
has always had a square jaw, normal length face, but good looking, but kind of nerdy looking.
Yeah,
my
he's the
favorite
nerdy
version
guy.
of him was drawn by John Byrne. That
Yeah.
was my favorite Reed Richards.
But
I love Bernie too.
He is a look. I think the best way to describe what I think the embodiment, performance-wise, of who Reed is would be Matt Smith's version of Doctor Who. I think that's how Reed actually is. He's not a wimp because he'll take on people. He's taking on Doctor Doom. The thing is that he is a guy that is so. There are so many things going through his head all the time. It's kind of like when you have too many windows open on your computer. He is a guy constantly just dealing with stuff. And so part of Sue's job is to get him to focus on the important stuff within their lives and learning how to, once it's family time, it's family time. Getting him to be in the here and now.
I just don't see him pulling it off, being believable as Reed Richards. The actor who played him in that stupid scene in the Wanda movie, whatever, Doctor Strange,
John Krasinski.
of Madness. Yep. He is the embodiment of what Reed Richards would look like, in my opinion. Good looking, but kind of a long, nerdy face, and there you go.
We all know that it's stunt casting is the real reason why Pedro got it, because in any other time, when you are casting for that part, if Fantastic Four were the first film that Marvel Studios were to put out, had they not done Iron Man and they had done Fantastic Four and Fox had never done it, Pedro would have never been looked at. I'm not saying Pedro's not a good actor.
He's not a Reed Richards character. I think
he's not a Reed Richards type.
I think the only time I liked him, it was in what do you call it, Game of Thrones. It's the only time I ever enjoyed his character, and my favorite moment is when he got had his head crushed by the mountain.
Yeah, when he played Mr. Bartell. Yeah,
that was the best thing he ever did. Everything after that, I watched that Nicolas Cage movie, and he was so fucking annoying and unfunny in that. And I did not like him. I don't like him as an actor. I don't think he's believable in anything.
I think he's 10 years past where he should be, because I've seen what he was like on his appearance in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've seen him on various television shows before he quote unquote made it.
Well, hold on, because what you're saying now, so I can explain to people, is this is like the same issue with Bond. You want to cast somebody who's about 35 to 40, that window.
Yep.
And that's what they should have done with that character, and Krasinski kind of passed that age too. But you need someone like Krasinski in that role, not like Pedro. Pedro is terrible casting. I didn't have any problem, by the way, with the voice of the Thing, even though I'm used to there being that gravelly sound like they did with the first two Fantastic Four films. I kind of like that. But the character still has his voice.
Yeah.
He can't have a different voice. He has to have the same voice as the actor playing him when he was human. And so therefore, I was kind of okay with what they did. I didn't have a problem with that. I don't mind the aesthetic of the film. I think the film has a good aesthetic so far. What I'm hearing that's troubling me is that Sue Storm, who is in love with Reed Richards, and vice versa, he's in love with her. I think it's stupid putting identity politics into it at all. The identity politics that are perfect for it is being mutated and being different because of that. It's a metaphor, use metaphors, but people don't know how to use metaphor anymore. All they focus on is throwing identity politics into things. It's like, well, that's what metaphor is for. So you don't alienate any part of your audience. Use metaphor. Claiming that mutants in the X-Men were gay is like, well, they were that. They were nerds. There were a lot of things.
Yeah, that's short-sighted. Is what it is. A lot of today's writers cannot use metaphor at all. That's the reason why they fail at writing Star Trek. They fail at writing even Star Wars or anything that had any real imagination to it. If you are bringing in modern day, and I mean writers hired in the last 5 to 10 years, they cannot write metaphor for some reason. And
I agree.
And it's annoying for those of us that actually grew up reading proper literature.
First comic I ever read was issue 1 of the Fantastic Four.
And
by the way, Tim
bedrock.
says he's not Reed Richards. He's not even Richard Reed. But is he Rex Reeves?
No.
Next one is, by the way, Thunderbolts isn't that far away from release. I've been keeping an eye on it. I got to be honest, it's sort of like Doom Patrol. It's a comic that I never read, and so therefore, I can actually not have a problem with it as long as it's a good film.
For the record, I read Doom Patrol. I thought the television series was aight. It was almost proper.
Well, you and I talked about it. We liked it. For what it was worth. I felt like they made a mistake by making the one dude, the radioactive guy, gay, because he and the blob chick fall in love and become parents to Beast Boy.
Yep.
And so they just threw that completely out.
Yeah,
and
because Matt Palmer was actually gay in real life. They decided to just make Larry Traynor gay in the show. And to me, that is
typecasting him, because now he plays gay characters 90% of what he's in. It's like, that's typecasting. It's not acting anymore.
Well, yeah. When does the acting begin? If that's the way you're going to do things,
yep.
I've got nothing against gay characters or even actors playing different things. My whole thing is, if you're going to make your living pretending, then hey, it's time to pretend.
Well, that's what acting is, and that's my problem with them is they forget that acting is pretending. That's all it is.
Yes.
And these activists piss me off. I get sick of them. I don't care what their politics are. I get sick of hearing it. Just do your job. There's only like a handful of actors who can speak politically that I'll listen to. And I just don't give two shits. I could give two shits what Chris Pratt's politics are. I like that he's based as a person, and I like that he likes making military people look good. He makes them look heroic.
I just really find it disturbing that Chris doesn't seem to be the kind of person who goes onto a set and tries to make trouble for people. He seems to be a nice guy, and he's very centered on family, which everybody knows is something important to me. I agree with you about him going out of his way to really make the military look good.
Yeah.
I find all the attacks
because just so you guys know, You had 2 children serve.
Got one currently back in.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome, because there's so many great benefits from a military career and retirement.
He called me. He's back home for a little bit and gave me an update on what it was like to basically change. He started out in the Army and now he's moved over to the Navy, and he likes it. He likes it a lot. So it is again. I am so proud of my kids and proud of our military. I have a lot of family that have served, and it's really just, in my opinion, it's an honor to be related to them, and it's an honor to really count many people who have served as my friends, yourself included, Gary. It's an honor to be your friend, and I just it just means a lot to me. So I think Hollywood should just wise up. There are other ways to tell stories without having to go out of your way to make people look bad. And there are, again, way too many people who are extremely short-sighted and really are not asking the right questions when it comes to what they want to do in creating stories or telling stories. If you feel that there is a deficit in the kinds of characters and stories being told, that's fantastic. But what you do is you fill that with original stories, or you fill that with stories gleaned from sources that actually want to talk about that and tell those stories. Your job is not to take stuff that's meant for something different, for a different audience, and to bend it into something or twist it into something that it's not meant to represent. It's when you do that we have a problem.
Tom just said, just do your jobs. Do your jobs and stop trying to go and do other people's jobs, or do a different job than what you were hired for.
Right.
By the way, we have another Breach by Sander Hammerschlag, so here you go.
I'm so lonely, so lonely, so lonely inside real Rome.
Wow.
By the way, if you want to know what happens when I open too many tabs on my computer.
No! Assholes do vex me!
Look, overall, let me at least round out a lot of what I'm saying by saying this. I think if you take a step back with all these films coming out this summer, I'm excited about the fact that Hollywood has finally caught up to honoring the Silver Age of comics. I'm with Superman and with Fantastic Four, we are finally getting to the Silver Age.
What do you think about this latest rumor that the Superman film is kind of a buddy road trip film with Superman, Supergirl, and I forget the other character that they mentioned. It was one of the videos I saw this weekend.
Yeah, I don't mind. That'd be different. I think back to what a lot of the criticisms were even 20 years ago. It's like there's way too many buddy cop movies or buddy films. Now we
there's no such thing. Just they're amazing, and I would love to see them over and over again. I got to play this again in the background. Keep talking.
I just think that overall this is a good thing. I think if both DC and Marvel can lean into the Silver Age of characters, it'll be different. It'll be fun. And again, out of everybody currently, I have a lot more faith in James Gunn than I do in anybody currently working at Marvel Studios, because James Gunn at least understands, some of these characters. He's willing to use some of these characters. Marvel Studios, they are not prohibited from anything. Okay? They work the way, even though they are owned by Disney, the way that they are treated, they're treated almost like their own independent thing. So anytime anybody tries to argue that maybe they can't do certain things, that's BS. They can do whatever Kevin Feige allows them to do. And that's the reason why I've
But
been saying, look, go ahead.
what about this though? Because China just basically threatened Hollywood this week,
Mhm.
and they're threatening to boycott anything from
Mhm.
Hollywood and stop investing, which Disney bent a knee to them. As did another studio, the one that made the movie with the pro wrestler guy that said something about Taiwan and then had to
Yeah,
bend a
yeah.
knee and apologize for it. You know, Hollywood has been doing is sucking their dick trying to get that money from China, and now China says, "Fuck Hollywood, fuck America. We're going to boycott Hollywood. No more movies allowed here in China." And I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Chinese people, but fuck that government.
You know what? This reminds me of the late 80s, early 90s. And this also shows that a lot of the people who have taken over in Hollywood over the last 10 to 12 years either never understood this or never learned the lesson or never talked to anybody that it worked back then, which
Yeah.
is there was a portion of time where both where the French were really interested in not having as many American movies. If you remember that, Gary?
Yeah.
And so what happened in Hollywood? The reason why you didn't hear a lot about it is they didn't care. It wasn't going to stop us from making movies. We just made movies. If another country didn't want to carry
So
our
what you're
films,
saying is, I get to do work here in this country where I live for the country where I live, and that's a bad thing. Okay, thanks, France.
just keep
fuck 'em
making.
all.
Just keep making movies, and as long as you have good people working for you, both on the film but also in the offices around where you are, just make movies. Stop trying to bend and cater everything. That's where you get into problems. You know, that's the whole thing. Look, I love John Boyega, but the dude is wrong, and we all know he's wrong. He's playing a role right now. All that stuff that he's been saying,
His
everybody can
career
tell.
has gone into the dumpster,
That's right.
and
It's a role.
and saying something like that's not going to help him. It's going to hurt him.
Well,
people are going to
he's
remember
already.
it.
Everybody's already heard what he had to say from before, and there's almost no way he can make what he was saying before link up to or make sense with what he's saying now. So he's
Yeah, I
either
know.
going to have to admit that he's changed his mind, which is fine, admit that and move on, or he's going to have to admit that they gave him a bunch of money to say what he's saying now.
Yep.
That's it. There's the
absolutely.
You can't square that.
No, you can't. And look, man, in the day and age when you could just in a few seconds turn from one screen to another screen, type shit in and find out something, and then turn back to that person going, "That says you're a liar." Which one is true? You're lying either here or you're lying now. Which one is where you're lying? And that's my problem with the media. Nobody in media challenges anything as long as it sells the ideology that they want to push, which is woke. And fuck them. But we got to get going. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it. Let's get to the private chat here. And we got Gambit 1987 has been here since before freaking started, boy. Boy, he was throwing out some stuff there, boy, in the chat. Yeah, let me tell you. Snortapoopas Cuber was here. Snorty. Paul Smith was here. Thanks, Paul, for being here. Penny, thank you so much. Thank you, Tom Baker. Thank you, Sandra Hammerschlag. Thank you, Shinatsky, my buddy. I love that guy, Shinatsky. Hollow Field. Thank you, sir, or ma'am. I don't know. I don't know. Bill Barkley, also another one. I don't know if it's a dude or not. He's Scottish. Apparently, they really embrace wokeism there in Scotland.
Wow.
Max Demon is here. What's up, buddy? D Bud Martin was here too. I love D Bud, and of course our dear close friend Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader, was here.
Yay,
buddy! And thanks, Max, for popping in, dude. We're gonna get the hell out of here, and I hope everybody has a great Friday. Don't forget tonight, John is going to be playing some more Fallout. That's right, Fallout, getting himself killed. Although I jumped in and he didn't die one time while I was watching. He didn't die one time. He was getting hurt though, by that Chinese guy with a blade.
That's
And,
because I wasn't there shitting on him. That's what keeps him getting killed, because I distract him so much by destroying him.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I got to tell you, good. I knew Carl Sagan didn't die. He became the stuff that stars are made of, and so
That's true. That is true.
Exists still in the cosmos. That's two great Carl Sagan quotes twisted about death to mean death. So that was fun. Take care of yourself, Gambit. I hope you're doing well. Hope all of you are. And I appreciate you guys popping in, hanging out with us. It's absolutely our favorite thing to do. One of my favorites. I'm off to watch the rest of Gremlins, The Wild Batch.
That's an animated series.
An animated show.
I wouldn't watch it because it takes place before the movie Gremlins, and yet they call him Gizmo, which is made no sense.
No, it
made
doesn't.
zero sense. No, he was named Gizmo in that movie. It wasn't his name before. So I absolutely wasn't interested in it because they did that. So, but enjoy the show, Bill. Hope it's good. I actually watched Tim, what's his name, that works on the latest Batman with J.J. Abrams. And I managed to stomach through 2 episodes. The Penguin being a woman just fucking irked me. I despise the race swapping for Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon the way they did. They look like white people, but with really dark skin, very tan skin. Clearly, they're trying to say they're black. And I'm like, JJ, you're a cunt. You really are doing that.
There's a cure for that.
That's worse, in my opinion. That's like walking up to a black person on the street and just giving them $1 because you assume they're poor.
There's a cure for that, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this.
Yeah, don't say this because we could go to jail for that if you say what I.
No, I'm black. They can't arrest me. What are they gonna do? Shoot me?
Oh, you're talking about something else. Oh, I thought you were saying doing something with JJ, putting him in a mystery box and never.
They should go ahead and allow JJ to make his Black Superman movie and make that the Superman for the Batman universe. And keep that all together in its own thing.
It's
That's
not
what they should do.
It's a different character.
No, it is Kal-El. That's what he's doing. That is what he's doing. They're going to race swap Superman. He wants to make a black Kal-El, a black Clark Kent. And my whole thing is, that's fine. Just put it in the same universe as Robert Pattinson's The Batman. It'll be great.
Which is a garbage film. It has one scene in it that I love, and also any scene with Colin Farrell was worth watching. The Price of Admission, the Batmobile scene, chasing the Penguin, worth the price of admission.
And Warner Brothers, pick up the phone because Vincent D'Onofrio has been trying to call you. He wants to be Swamp Thing.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
That's what I keep saying. After what happened with Justice League Dark and Guillermo del Toro, Warner Brothers should be on the phone waiting and pick up anytime a major talent wants to do something because they already screwed up with Justice League Dark. That would have been a kick butt movie. That would have.
Oh, you mean what's his name? Killer Shark and Constantine having a relationship where
no, I didn't want to.
Constantine is a power bottom. Constantine's a power bottom. Like,
they were going to actually have the comic book version of Justice League Dark, and Guillermo del Toro wanted to hire Matt Ryan because he thought that he did a fantastic job on his NBC television series.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
He plays the part exactly. When I watched him, all I saw was the comic character, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
When you are reminded of what you loved in that comic, it was the best fucking casting.
Mm-hmm.
In the history of Marvel is
that. And Guillermo del Toro agreed, except then the Berlanti people were there as soon as the TV show went off on NBC. And that shows you when you're dealing with people who understand and love the character versus people who don't understand the character. And you look at the writing that they were able to do for the character of Constantine within the Berlanti universe, and it's substandard.
Okay. I absolutely had my the app open for Facebook, so I need to share this, and then we're getting the hell out of here. I'm actually getting tired, cranky, and hungry. Let's see, where do I add graphics? Damn it! There we go. Let me. I don't know if that'll be add. Let me delete these. I already showed them earlier. They can go away. Delete, and now add. Go to downloads, and this is what Tim just sent me. There you go. Because, Trey Parker and Matt Stone were told, because they wanted to say in their South Park movie, they wanted to kill. We should kill Bill, what's his name? The computer guy, Bill Gates. And they're like, you can't say that. We could get sued for saying that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What if we just kill him? Oh, you can do that in the show. So that's what they did on the cartoon, the animated film. They killed Bill Gates. The guy, the general, just shoots him because they kept getting blue screens on their military software because of Bill Gates. And so he just shoots him. And it's like they could do that, but they couldn't say he should be taken out and shot. And Hollywood censors have their heads up their fucking asses. So, and that's kind of where my joke was about J.J. Abrams. We could all end up in the clinker for this. Big deal, Joe.
What we have here is a failure.
That's one of the best actors ever right there.
Yep. Strother Martin.
Strother fucking Martin, man. What we've got here is failure to communicate. And then he reprised the character on Saturday Night Live, and Bill Murray is the Cool Hand Luke. And he's at French summer camp, and he's not learned any French. And so he says, what we have here is a failure to communicate bilingually. And I just laughed my ass off. That was hilarious. All right, let's get out of here. Nobody new popped in? Good, okay. So we're going to get out of here, guys. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Keith, thanks for popping in. Next time, come in earlier so we can actually talk about some of this shit longer.
I had worked all night, so I was sleeping.
I know. That's what we said when I tried calling you. Anima goes, he's sleeping. You know he's sleeping.
I still tried to call him too. Martin did as well.
I thank you. But I thank all of you.
We like hanging out with you, Keith. That's awesome.
And,
I miss hanging out with you.
You add to the value of what we do on this show when you and I hang out. And people love it when you and I start talking. And this is their general reaction when you and I are on a show together.
I'd buy that for $1.
We're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great Friday. Don't forget, John's going to be playing Fallout later. Not to mention, you've got Friday Night Frolics with Doomcock. And
yes.
Don't miss your Doom. I love my Doomcock. If I like cock, I like it Doom.
I could probably join him. Be Black Doomcock.
Well, you and I have been on his show together.
I know.
He would not let me talk. Anytime I gave him an explanation, he doesn't want to listen to reason. But I don't care because I just love him. I love Doomcock. He's amazing. So anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Have a good Friday. We'll be back tomorrow. What movie are we doing tomorrow? I forgot.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest, yeah.
Oh my God,
Galaxy
yes,
Quest.
I love that.
That
The
one,
best
finally.
Star Trek movie ever made.
I agree.
So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Plus, you're going to get to see me do some drawing because I like to drink and draw. You can't drink and drive, but you can drink and draw.
Yes, sir.
Because as it says in my little explanation here, I'm a good drawer. Now, is that underwear drawer or sock drawer? I don't know. But I'm
you're
one of them.
definitely underwear, Gary.
Wipeout!
Yep, 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 yep.
Bye, guys.
Back